This video contains spoilers for the Promised Neverland manga. To say that manga fans of the Promised Neverland should be mad is an understatement. The anime made sweeping changes to an impactful series, and it will suffer due to those changes, believe me. I'm here today to break down why each of the characters and the impact of those characters on the story will suffer from the cuts. To add some context to what I'm about to say, you should know where Season 1 left each of the character arcs. For Emma, she had just lost her friend and the closest thing to a love interest that these kids would get, and had to start relying on the guy who earlier had betrayed them, and also the guy who just tried to kill himself. Though she did escape Gracefield House with everyone she wanted to, that being the 5-year-olds and up, she was in a good place, scared but hopeful for what the outside world would look like. For Norman, he was missing, presumed dead by his family, though the reader and the watcher are led on to the fact that he's not actually dead due to them never showing a body when they showed both Connie and Crohn's. Connie showing that it wasn't afraid to show dead children. But when he was under the assumption that he died, he faced it head on. For Ray, he was just saved from a suicide attempt, but had not yet reached his realization that he needed to live for his family, which happens in the Promised Forest arc. That's where the second season of Promised Neverland picks up. In the Promised Forest arc, Ray's will to live for his family is solidified, and Emma's drive to save her family was put to the test as well as her learning skills that would come to help a hell of a lot in the next few arcs. And all of this was handily shown in the second season, up until the end of the Promised Forest arc. Majuka doesn't whisper into Emma's ear to find the 7 walls, so they have no foreshadowing for that. That was the first real big red flag for manga readers who are watching the anime. But they do have the pen, which Ray has figured out. They go to shelter B0632, where they find the man Emma calls Mister. At least that's what happens in the manga. In the anime, the bunker is empty. Shelter B0632 is part of the larger Search for Minerva arc of the manga, where we learn about Mister and see flashes of his past to give context to why he is so disgusted by the kids. He has agreed to let stay in the bunker. In another big difference between the two stories is instead of the word poachers being written on the wall, it's the word help. We can assume what happened in the anime was that Mister still went to Goldie Pond with the rest of his friends after he escaped Glory Bell and everyone got killed like in the manga. He went back to the shelter and sat there for 12 years until one day he got fed up, took all the weapons, went back to Goldie Pond where he was killed and eaten. A much worse fate than the manga, where his death meant something and ended up saving the kids from extermination. That's all good, talking about a character that anime-onlys will never know. But what about characters you do know? Emma and Ray. Well, it takes away one of Emma's best overall moments, which is helping Mister, or Hugo, find his will to live and a reason to be happy. It is genuinely one of the most heartfelt moments in this manga, and I can't understand why they would take it out, unless they really needed to crunch. And as for Ray, he doesn't get the time he needs. Going forward, there are more arcs and a time skip of a year and 5 months. Norman is but a scar on the kids now, a reminder of why they can't fail or give up even though they lose people. We've had a lot of time since chapter 30, which is when Norman first disappears. It's now chapter 118, a few days of real life binge reading for me. And we got to meet Norman again, properly, because even though we knew he was alive, we didn't know what he was up to. Meeting him again was a bizarre feeling because the last time I saw him, he was my second favorite character, and I wasn't the biggest fan of Ray. But now, I had a whole top 10 character list which Norman wasn't even close to getting on. I had moved on, and he was back. But for anime-onlys, they only had to wait a few episodes between losing him and him coming back. And even though there was a time skip, there was no time spent with the characters to make the time skip feel real. Anime-onlys were robbed of the true gray excitement of seeing Norman again. I feel bad for all those who don't pick up the manga and continue this amazing story. Please do it, it's worth it. Thanks for watching the first video on my second channel. If you could leave a like and subscribe to this channel, it would be much appreciated. And if you like this style of video and want to see me cover JoJolion, I do that on my main channel. Please go check that out in the description or on the end card on screen right now. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you later. Peace.